there's more Bigfoot sightings in the east than there is out in the west. Do you get a lot of Bigfoot sightings in Ohio?
Actually, it's about 10 miles east of here. It's an area known as Charleston Pike. It's bordering Ross County and Adams County, Ohio, or Meigs County, that region. There are several Bigfoot sightings, maybe 2 or 3 times a year in that region. No one has ever really collected any valid hair samples or any type of foot castings in that area, unfortunately, but fairly reputable people have cited this in and around the Old Man Caves area.
Yeah, I've got to say, if you're familiar or not with the Mayaca skunk ape photos.
Yes.
Taken in Florida, I actually live within walking distance from there. The state park is about a mile from me, where that picture was supposedly taken.
The one where he's peering behind the, looks almost like a palm tree leaf.
Yeah. And that just showed up at the city office. Somebody just anonymously mailed it to the city. Said it was taken there. That's strange. A lot of experts think it was an orangutan or a costume.
Yeah, I've seen that picture. I could see a orangutan perhaps, and there is an area in North Carolina, southern North Carolina. It's a small island off the coast that actually is full of wild monkeys. And it used to be a scientific testing laboratory, and these monkeys were considered contaminated, and they just basically left them there to die. They abandoned the project and left the island, and the island has all of these wild monkeys. They didn't die out, they just continue to reproduce.
Okay. Well, we've got a question in the chat room. Donnie wants to know, do you think that UFOs use any type of cloaking devices?
I totally think that's possible. That's completely possible, considering there was an episode of UFO Hunters where Bill and the gang were talking about these pictures that were sent to them, where someone was just taking a picture of a clear blue sky, the tree line, and in 2 of the other pictures, this strange-looking, almost like Deep Space Nine or Battlestar Galactica type mother-looking ship was just hovering above. It was a huge, strange shaped device. They had all of these arms sticking off of it. And then 2 frames later it was gone. And it could be reverse engineering, could be something that was made here at home based on a higher intelligence. As far as cloaking, it's completely possible to do with some sort of a reverse magnetic polarity that could actually distort the way your eyes see things, a lot like the Philadelphia experiment.
Yep, well even our modern day military is involved in cloaking, where they're taking what's above them and projecting it on the bottom of the craft.
Yeah.
I myself have taken photos where there's nothing but clear skies. I took a photo of a helicopter and nothing but clear skies, and then I get in and I processed the memory card, and you could see 2 objects next to the helicopter that were far away enough that it wasn't part of the helicopter, but were there for sure. So I definitely believe if they have all this technology to come here, why wouldn't they be able to cloak themselves?
Yeah, completely.
Well, I've got so flustered today that I didn't ask. The very first question I normally ask, and I guess I sort of covered it in your bio, I like to ask every single guest. It sort of gives a little bit of your history and background, and lets the guests know.
Yeah.
The question is, everyone has a story that got them interested in the paranormal, or something happened to it. What happened to you that got you interested in the paranormal?
Truth is, I just do all this for the chicks and the money.
Well, I know the money's not true, but okay, I don't know about the chicks.
The thing that really got me into it, I suffered from a major illness when I was about 3. I had a severe fever. I don't remember exactly what I had, but I was hallucinating during this time of high fever and seeing things and hearing things that weren't there physically, and just wrote it off as that based on what my parents had told me. You're just seeing things because you've got a fever, and after a few days it went away. And I was fine, I was hospitalized, dehydrated, and then at around the age of 5, I started seeing my dead grandfather around the 1-week anniversary of his death. And my grandfather died when I was 3, and I started getting sick after that. So started seeing him the week of anniversary of his death, and this happened from the age of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then by the age of 10. At this point, I'm starting to wonder if I was crazy, if I had something wrong with me mentally. And every time I would see him, it would only be for a period of like 3 or 4 days, the 1-week anniversary of his death, and he would be approaching me either in a mirror or appearing behind me while I'm looking in a mirror and he's not there, or I'd see him at the end of a hall, or he'd walk down the hall towards me and just vaporize, and he would always have a cut across his neck and a cut on both wrists, as if he were bleeding out, and he looked completely miserable, almost like the way that Jacob Marley looked when he was approaching Ebenezer Scrooge with the chains attached to him, just in that type of misery. And at the age of 10, I had had enough of seeing him like that, and I felt the need to pray to God to do something with him, take away his suffering, take him away, make him go away, let him go into the light, whatever he needs to do. At that moment, the sighting stopped. That next year, it never happened, and the years following that time, it never happened again. I had never seen him since then. And it was the age of 21 when my mother told me the truth about my grandfather's death, that he had committed suicide because of depression and alcohol abuse. And he had committed suicide by slitting his throat and his wrists and bleeding out in a tree. And he was that severely depressed. And it came full circle. It made sense as to why I kept seeing him like that. And I like to think that the prayer I threw out sort of gave him safe passage into heaven.
Yeah, that's a...
Almost like he was trapped in purgatory.
It was good anyway. I was going to say, I started to say it was a good story, but it's what happened was not good. Looking at your T-shirt on the Skype picture, my wife bought me one of those as a joke. I have yet to wear it anywhere, but...
the one I'm wearing right now?
Yeah, the Ghostbusters shirt.
Oh, on that picture. Okay, I thought you meant the shirt I have on right now.
No, I don't have video turned on. So
Oh, okay.
you can see. I would not want my video camera on. I don't even have it plugged in, so it's good there. But in public speaking, do you attend a lot of paranormal conventions?
Yes, I do. I'm the regular attending guest speaker at the Ohio Paranormal Convention. That's in Dayton, Ohio. The Mothman Festival in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. I'm always at that speaking. I do book signings. I do public presentations in libraries around Halloween. I always speak in schools during Right to Read Week and talk to children in English and writing class. And what they really want to know about is the paranormal phenomenon and the things I've seen, not so much about the books I write. It's still good publicity nonetheless. I've also been invited to speak at the Scarefest in Louisville, Kentucky. And I heard that's a big event. And there's also an event in Michigan that I might be attending next year. That's the Northwest Paranormal Conference. North Midwest or something like that. It's a long name. But I've done that. I've been on television several times. Fox 28 News in Columbus, Ohio. They've had me on Good Day Columbus. I've appeared for a brief excerpt in a Monster Quest episode about Mothman. And I'm going to appear in an upcoming episode of My Ghost Story on A&E, the A&E network. I've also been contacted by a couple of other production companies about possible show ideas they had in mind or they wanted me to be a part of, one of which is a current show they're wanting to launch called Ghost Quest, and they've asked me to be a part of that, so I'm currently in talks with them.
Wow. Now, speaking of Louisville, Kentucky, have you ever been to the Mid-South Paranormal Convention that Keith Aid puts on?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, that's coming up August 26th through the 28th at the Fern Valley Convention and Conference Center in Louisville, Kentucky. And Keith was the very first guest that we had on the Inception Radio Network, January the 1st. He came on New Year's Day. He was brave to be up after New Year's. But and he's been nice enough to give us 10 free tickets. We're going to be having a call-in contest.